Mark Robinson, who might be, but probably won't be your next governor of North Carolina, had more terrible things to say in the past that are only now popping up as the election draws near. Here is something he said in a video he posted to Facebook in December of 2018. Take a look.
I can tell you this right now, and I've said this several times, and I'm going to say it again. As long as this country, as long as this nation continues to sow these seeds of perversion, we're going to reap a whirlwind and a harvest of pure horror. You better believe it. We keep twisting these children's minds up, allowing these children to be raped both undercover and in our faces. And those children are going to grow up to be absolute monsters. They are going to be monsters that are going to do unspeakable things.
I mean, look, if therapists want to talk about how in some cases there's like a cycle of trauma or something, there can be a conversation. But for him to go off on a homophobic rant and say, after these kids are raped, they're the villains. Dear God, with this guy, it's almost like he's got that Marjorie Green thing where every single thing he says is the worst thing you've ever heard, and he won't stop talking and he won't stop posting. Like I'm tempted to wonder, what does he say in private? But I don't think there's anything left. I think he's gotten all of the pus and the poison out. Now, granted, there was some stuff he tried to keep a little bit private, except on Nude Africa. But anyway, and bear in mind the context as he goes off on this whole thing about people's perversion and homophobia and all of that he's binge watching trans porn like me going through Frasier for the 9th time. But anyway, that was gross in a lot of different ways. Brett, what do you think?
I mean, no one expected that dog leg in the middle of his video where it kind of just kicks left into the raped children are gonna be monsters. Like, I feel like we should feel bad for them. In your weird story you just made up. Like, you in your Pizzagate frenzy should have just painted the children as the victims, but instead now they're the perpetrators. It's just a weird one I've never heard before. But it's like, I don't know if guys like that are the America you want. Mm-hmm. Like, what? How do you want that guy in charge of anything? A guy who like has the camera like up his own nose talking about doing that stuff. Like, he says these are unspeakable things, but he's speaking them.
Yeah.
He's speaking them a lot. I wish he didn't. And it's all based on this weird fantasy land of boredom. People are so bored. You guys have the luxury right now of worrying about like whatever the hell this guy's talking about. It's like your life can't be that bad if you're talking about that. And if it is that bad, then the person who is advocating for solutions to fix it are actually the Democratic candidates. That's the other thing, is like they're saying, let me put $50,000 of credit into your small business. They're the ones saying, let me extend a child tax credit because we believe in the sacredness of families and your ability to raise one. Donald Trump's like, I want to see the kids' penises before they swim. Oh. Please. I actually did grope. Weird. There's a grope story about me. Ignore it. There's deep state, but Elon Musk, a billionaire, just bought the media, and every owner of a major publication, including the Washington Post and the LA Times, is not letting journalists actually do the endorsements they want. But the other side's evil.
I don't think that enough people want this weird thing that they've become. I know that it gets you people to follow you on social media. I get that. It gets you to have an audience for your show. I get that. Maybe it gets you in a really red district to win a primary. But like, I don't think 50% of the country, knock on wood, wants this bizarre, strange thing. And I think maybe like we as a nation burned out on the weird thing, but it is not less true than it was a month ago or 2 months ago. they are still just as deeply, unrepentantly weird as they were. And Trump is super weird, but he is not alone in it. They're all so weird. We have a Marjorie Greene story we're gonna do later in the week about how weird she is. And we just need to make sure that people continue to focus on that. Thankfully, polling shows that he is not getting any closer to actually winning. Josh Stein, I believe it is up by 14 in a Marist College survey. Emerson has Stein up by 13. So it's looking pretty good. And honestly, like to the extent that another candidate could have helped bring some people out, North Carolina is a state that Trump would really like to win, and he probably still will, but not because Robinson did him any favors. Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen, and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.